Williams' final numbers Friday night were solid. He finished 11 of 15, 113 yards, and a touchdown pass. But new head coach Ben Johnson did not like what he saw, especially early on in the game. He addressed it post-game.
Offensively, first two possessions was really sloppy football that has plugged us in and out of camp so far, and unfortunately that's what we got here tonight. Good news is we'll be able to look at this tape and coach it up with our guys, and I think it's out of our system hopefully for us going into the regular season.
Dano, did you have the same level of pessimism?
And I didn't like the first one, but in a basically similar concept, you show me, nope, didn't do it well, but in the second part of that game, you did. And I would be very encouraged by that specific stretch if I was Ben Johnson.
I think this preseason from the Bears, and I include some practices where there's been extensive reporting on how Caleb has performed, is going to end up being in the eyes of the public. See what you want to see. There are people that immediately think because Jaden Daniels was this prodigy quarterback last year, Caleb Williams should have never gone #1 overall. Maybe this is going to be the next bust. There are other people that I think have a much more realistic and pragmatic stance, like Dan just showed us on the touchscreen, that are seeing progress and growth from Caleb Williams. All the physical skills are there for Caleb Williams. The one thing I want to urge people to not do is make their decision about whether this marriage is going to work the minute we see them on the field in 2 weeks from today
on September.
Monday Night Football,
Sure.
right? This is going to take some time because the Bears have talked about overloading Caleb Williams with as much as they possibly could early on in training camp, seeing what works and seeing what he can develop, and then taking all of the information, the snapshot of August, and turning it into September progress. I would say on the whole, wasn't perfect. I thought there was more progress than steps back or reasons for concern from Caleb Williams.
Yeah, listen, we're not expecting perfection from Caleb Williams.
I think some people are, which is crazy.
To me, what you're expecting is to see him continue to grow, not only necessarily in the physical tools that we already know he can display, but the way he processes the game, the way he recovers from seeing a play one time, headed to the sideline, talking about it, and then executing the way that Dan showed us on the sail route to Rome on Dunze. That's what I want to see from Caleb Williams. The ability to handle the adversity and then play better the next time out.
See, I also think it's this. It's not just Caleb learning Ben Johnson. There's a Ben Johnson learning Caleb.
Yeah.
And so maybe he watches that double inbreaker that I showed and said, well, maybe Caleb doesn't see that well right now or flawlessly, but then you watch him see the inbreaker and the outbreaker and go, oh, he's got a comfort level in seeing that stuff. So I think part of that is the evolution and the the learning process from the coach of what does this guy really like to see and how many different plays can I build into that world?
Yeah, it's truly about how efficient can Caleb Williams be. And if there's one thing that Ben Johnson knows, it's efficiency, because the Detroit Lions were the most efficient offense the last 2 seasons under Ben Johnson. But still to come, Bo Nix had a rookie season that jumped off the screen. But one of my guys says he's ready to take an even bigger mile-high leap in year 2.
They're rolling along with Mike T and Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. We saw the thing the other day. He was the only player on his team who was not in a jersey for their final preseason game. There was a moment where he's lying on the medical table, and people made a very big deal of it. Here it is. His team's offense is on the field, and he's lying there. You can make up your own mind whether you think that's a big deal or not. One way or the other. Shefty, 10 days until they open in Philadelphia. What?
What is nothing, Greeny? Nothing. They haven't had any contract talks. The season opens in 10 days. Micah Parsons still has not practiced. So even if he were out there a week from Thursday night, which there are certainly no assurances or indications he will be right now, he's going to be limited at best. Micah Parsons could not go in and play a full football game next Thursday night. And again, the Dallas Cowboys say an MRI on his back came back clean. He says there's still back tightness. It's a hard thing to argue with, and I have a feeling that these types of issues may hang over this team and this situation this season.
You know, Greeny, what's really important is being 10 days away. I remember with Darrelle Revis, like we had a long holdout. I was right, the agent was wrong. And we finally get the deal done, and, you know, we're excited. We have a really good team. And then on opening day, Randy Moss beats him for a touchdown on a post. He pulls his hamstring, and it, like, all the air came out of the balloon. And that's why, like, to me, Kevin Patullo, the new OC of the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni, they almost want to see Micah Parsons out there. They will tempo him and go no huddle. And now, like, if I'm Jerry Jones, like, again, he was the owner, I'm the general manager, but there's a sense like you're laying your whole organization down. You have a chance to have a really good team, certainly on offense with Pickens being there. And now you have
Who's letting the organization down?
Jerry Jones. And, like, I always felt like as a general manager, I had a responsibility to give us a chance to win each and every year. And now you're at a point that even if you get the deal done, this isn't Dak Prescott walking in on the precipice of the season, Green. This is somebody that needs to be in great condition, and you're going to play the Eagles on opening night. It really diminishes your chances of winning.
I think almost all of us think that the chances of him playing, certainly playing a full game in 10 days, are extremely unlikely. Here's the way I view this situation. Look, we've obviously talked about it a lot. It's endlessly interesting because of the dynamics, the soap opera-like dynamics of the people involved. At this point, if you're Micah Parsons, I think you have to sit out a game because you have no other way
you look
of
foolish
pushing.
if you don't.
Well, no, but forgetting about, I don't care if I look foolish or not. How else do you force the issue?
Right.
The one way you're going to find out, like Jerry Jones, when you're playing someone, if this is a poker game, and I have $12 billion and you don't, I can bet an amount of money that you can't call no matter what else happens. So I got to find out if you're bluffing. And the only way I can find out if you're bluffing is by sitting out at least one game and seeing if that changes anything. To me, that's the only move left.
That's what Emmett Smith did. That's what Emmett Smith did.
He sat out 2 games, and it's 30 years ago, but it worked then, and maybe it works now.
The difference is I had a sense of urgency that if we didn't win, I would be fired. A head coach has a sense of urgency. If he doesn't win, he's going to be fired. Jerry Jones is going nowhere.
I get it.
RC mentioned it. You're not here. I made $9 billion. So that's why, like, to me, this situation, like, this is the closest we're going to see to what happened with Jalen Ramsey in Jacksonville, which is, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys to blink, we are sometime into October.
You know, there's the old adage about marriage, right? For men, for sure. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones wants to be right. Jerry Jones isn't concerned with being happy. Jerry Jones, in my opinion, isn't concerned with truly winning a championship. He's concerned with winning this engagement, this negotiation with Michael Parsons.
Wow.
And not winning this engagement or negotiations with David Mulligeta, with truly Michael Parsons. When have we seen an owner and general manager set out on a vendetta in the way that we've seen Jerry Jones attack Michael Parsons, to truly sit down with Stephen A. Smith and air this entire grievance out publicly? Those aren't things that we see. And when you look at this, for Jerry Jones, here's the decision he made. And I wrote this down, Greeny, when you said that Michael Parsons is going to have to sit out a game. Here is what Jerry Jones is counting on. Jerry Jones has owned this team for 4 decades.
Right.
When you play this game, you're blessed when you get 4 years.
Right.
And so he's going to say Michael Parsons isn't willing to sit out what could possibly be a Hall of Fame career over a certain amount of money. He's not willing to sit out what could be a Hall of Fame career over his personal integrity. And so if he believes that, Michael Parsons has to show him. Michael Parsons has to say that with all that I want to accomplish individually, my